Oh, hello, beautiful friends. Happy Monday, if it happens to still be Monday where you are at. I am Stormy Grace. If you are new here, welcome, 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 and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of April 4th. And I apologize, you guys, this week. I'm a little bit late. I'm not normally late. Ugh. Trust me, it hurts my Virgo rising. However, here we are, and I wanted to make sure I came to do it live and share a little bit of morning space with you. So hopefully you are doing very, very well. Now, if you are here looking for your astrology horoscope for this week, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. And I will also make sure that the aspects and the transits that are happening this week that I talk about are put in the description box down below as soon as I finish this live, beautiful chat with you guys. So let's not waste a single moment and get here and talk about what's going on. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, as we are here and we are coming into this week, first of all, I want to ask you, take a deep breath with me, reflect, drop your shoulders down. Let's just spend a second together and tell me or reflect for yourself. New moon go for you? How are you feeling? Are you feeling that release of energy? Are you feeling the speed coming with the energy as we're here in Aries season? And for some of you, where is the reflection for you where you're feeling the let go, or like a harmony coming around to things you've been trying to let go, whether they're ideas, people, places, things, where are you feeling a little bit of relief and flexibility that's available to you now? I would love to know that, whether it's in the chat or the comment section down below. Now, as we are starting off the week today here on April 1st, we've got Mars in this conjunction with Saturn. And this is an intense energy for sure. It is absolutely intense. I mean, it is, we think about the energy of the parent and the child, right? Or the teenager and the parent coming together. So it can be a very electric kind of energy. But as they're using their conjunction, one of the things we can do is take actions, Mars, that are very grounded, Saturn. And so therefore, they lead to responsibly being ambitious, responsibly moving forward, taking actions that are well thought out and grounded and have a strong foundation underneath them, which is great. We're in Aries season. What are you beginning? This is happening over here in the energy of Aquarius. So it's fire and air. What are you looking to use these energies to expand? This is a great time to look at those actions. Now, it can still be the struggle of intensity as well between Mars and Saturn, because Mars still says, I do what I want. And Saturn says, you do not do just what you want. So as these two come together, and in traditional astrology, they are considered to be the malefics or heavier energies, give an indicator that something more challenging is coming around the corner. And we may be feeling that. You may be feeling like there's something heavy kind of just sitting with you or sitting on you. And if that is the case, one of the things that I want to remind you, you can do hard things. You can do hard things. If it's making you angry, if it's making you resentful, if it's bringing up negative ideas about your body or about what you think about yourself or others, if it's bringing a frustration, right? The question is not the frustration. Yes, you can get into it and see what that's about, but what are you going to do about it? Right? Mars is a take action energy. So what will you do? This is very much so that time that I think the question is not what's happening around you, but what's your response to it, right? How can you step back, take the chokehold off of the situation or the energy that seems to be surrounding you, and find a place to get and to go with the flow, or just release, get a different perspective? If something's come up for you and you get information or somebody has action, right? They do something that's a bit more destructive and you're standing there needing to decide what your action's going to be physically. Even take a step back in the same space, in the same room, in the same energy, and just step away from that person for a second and take a breath. This gives you an opportunity to build a strategy right there in that moment of how you will navigate, right? It is a great energy. If you are determined to create different experiences or you're determined to build something different, this can actually be a great use of the malefics there, and it's quite responsible as well. Now, I will say one other thing that I think is interesting, because just a little bit later in the day, as we start to creep in tomorrow, we're going to see Mars also get ready to come into this trine with the north node that is over, or excuse me, the square that's over with the north node in Taurus. Okay, this is fixed energy, right? So it can also bring a sense of, I can't tell you why, but I am super sexually or root chakra energized. Okay. And that may make you feel very motivated to do things. And I'm telling you, if you can point that at something good and healthy and not harmful to yourself or other people, you do you, right? But also, that is a great energy for endurance. Build and change off of that root chakra energy. It's actually very good. Now, as Mars does square that north node in Taurus, right? The square is putting us under pressure. It creates a little box that puts you under pressure so that you need to take an action. A square is the 911 of the aspects because it wants you to do something. And this is Mars, so you absolutely want to do something. Okay. You want to get out of the square, out of the pressure. So this could feel like, my inner fire, my inner go is actually in conflict with what makes me feel secure or what I previously knew to be secure. So it can be an energy that is like, hold on, be flexible. Anytime we get Uranian energy involved, which right now we're talking about Mars and Aquarius, so Uranus is on the table. And let's not forget that Uranus is in Taurus in general. So it is seeping those vibrations over to that node as well. So be flexible. Don't ground down into what you are doing in this square. Grounding down and saying, I won't move, is actually going to be harder, right? So be mindful of that. Be flexible where the clash is putting pressure, because it's saying the action you're trying to take to get to this destiny point, they're in misalignment at this time. So again, we've got an indicator, for today and tomorrow, for Monday and Tuesday, to be looking at some flexibility, grounded, realistic, responsible approaches. Okay. Later in the day, as we're there on Tuesday, we're going to see Mercury, who's in Aries, which we've seen some Mercury in Aries, right? People are saying what they need to say. They are expressing themselves in pretty bold ways that sometimes seem like they came out of nowhere. There's a lot of that going on. But we're going to see now that Aries, that Mercury and Aries energy is going to sextile Saturn that's in Aquarius. Now that sextile creates not only a pocket of opportunity that is available, but in the sextile, we're taking intelligent action or constructive use of that opportunity that is available. So this is a wonderful, harmonious aspect that gives us an opportunity to be useful. So it's kind of this energy where I think, okay, maybe you felt stuck physically, right? Maybe you felt like, I'm just not getting my feet. I'm not getting the action underneath me, but you're almost able to think of an innovative new strategy that gives you space to take the action that you need to take. That's a really lovely construct of Mercury being in that sextile to Saturn, because you can mentally create conversation and collaboration that get you in different positions to take action that requires a lot of good judgment. It requires thinking, it requires strategy, it requires some planning, maybe even a little bit of research. If you're in school and you're researching, this is your aspect this week. So go on ahead and get into it. Okay. And if you are needing to focus down on the new strategy, the new pathway forward, this is really an ideal energy. Now, Mercury is going to hit its retrograde. We're going to do that retrograde in May and June. Okay. But for right now, I will say too that I think that this is a pretty safe time if you did need to sign contracts, especially contracts that seem to be like a big deal. They put you at the big start of something. This is a pretty useful energy. Of course, double check that around your particular chart, but Mercury sextile Saturn is like, I'm going to sign a long-term contract, or I'm signing a long-term lease, or I'm making a decision that will impact me in the long term. This is a pretty good energy to be able to do that. Okay. So kind of just keep that in mind. That is to your benefit at this particular time. Now, we're also going to see this week that Venus is going to move into the energy of Pisces, and that is on Tuesday as well. Okay. Now, Venus in the energy of Pisces is exalted. So not only comfortable here, but really able to do phenomenal work here. So Venus gets hopeful, gets inspired, gets lit up, gets active, becomes a power magnetizer in the energy of Pisces. So first of all, if you're feeling a little bit more gracious towards your fellow man, or you're feeling some romance float your direction, right? And romance doesn't always have to be another person. It could just be you're feeling some kind of way. You're feeling like something very positive, very dreamy. Maybe something creative is moving in between the worlds, but it's also valuable. That's Venus and Pisces energy. It's delicious. You know, the world just needs love to be better. It's that kind of energy that you can work with. So enjoy that energy, really enjoy that energy, because Venus is working at a magnetic strength and powerhouse here at this particular time. Now, we do also have to be mindful when Venus gets very comfortable, Venus gets very comfortable. So we may not be seeing or perceiving things exactly as they are. So, you know, be mindful, double check the writing, double check what it is that you're doing, but it's still a wonderful energy to exist in. And we need it. We need to not always be in the super concrete reality of what's going on. We need time to breathe and to kind of come up, you know, out of our squares, and have a little bit of sextile, have a little bit of trine energy, have a bit of that ease. So please try and enjoy that this week. And if you have Venus in Pisces, you're going to be experiencing a little bit of a return, which is absolutely delicious. So enjoy that energy as well. Okay, how are you guys doing out there? I'm seeing you light up a little bit in the chat, and thank you for those thumbs up, those likes. I really appreciate that as we are going along here. Now, as we are going to push into Friday, okay, we're going to see Mercury come into a sextile now with Mars. Now, this is phenomenal. Remember that sextile is lending itself to movement and to ease of access, but we have to take action at the opportunities presented. So first of all, think about what's happening here. Mercury's thinking about things. Mars is fueling the action. So we have an abundance of movement that becomes available here. And it's not the last time we're going to feel this. We're going to experience this again in May and in July. So what you're thinking about, planning about, getting those actions behind you, taking those actions at this particular point, it's going to be in a repeated cycle. So you can check back in on it. So make a little note on your calendar. What did I start? Where did I feel like I was processing a ton of information or making big decisions around, you know, April 8th? And then you could follow those up in those next days. So just be agile, stay agile. We've still got Aquarian energy on the table. So stay flexible, stay agile, stay movable. Okay. As we're experiencing these particular, transits on this day. Now, as we get to Saturday, we're going to see the moon later in the day move into the energy of Leo. So it's a great time when we get to Saturday. Bring that playfulness back in. What makes you laugh? What makes you happy? Where are you maybe even emotionally feeling like, yeah, I'm ready to come front and center a little bit more? You know, where can you love easy? Make sure that love in your life is easy on Saturday. Let yourself be easy to love in that particular energy, okay? Because as we roll into Sunday, we come into some energy we need to do a little bit of work with. Now we're going to see Mercury come into a square with Pluto, okay? I try and tell you guys when the energies are getting heavier, and this is definitely that time. Now we've got our thinking energy coming against our transformation, but also empowerment energy. Okay. We're not backing down. We're not living in fear. We're not doing any of that kind of stuff. Instead, we just need to be wise about it. So as Mercury and Pluto come into this square, our thinking is being challenged. We are thinking quite deeply, quite intensely, maybe even having conversations with other people. Or think about it, you could even be having a discussion in organization. You could be having a discussion, depending where these energies are at, with your guidance or maybe a trusted spiritual friend in your life. And you're having to not pull out the blame game. You're having to think very deeply about what is happening around you, what information is being presented to you. It's very easy with Mercury square Pisces to get defensive. So we've talked about this a little bit earlier in the year, but I want to remind you, put the defenses down. Put the defenses down. The information that is coming for you and coming to you, or that you are having to deliver, it is to be considered deeply. It's presenting you something specific that needs evaluation at this particular time. I also think that on this particular day is not the best time to make huge decisions or sign those big contracts, because you need to consider what's being presented to you. Okay, Venus is in Pisces, happily exalted, love that. But do you have rose-colored glasses on around something that's going on around the details this day? Just give it a day. Just give it a day to just pause for a cause for a minute, and then you can make smarter decisions, I think. But deeply evaluate what is being presented to you. It's still Mercury energy, so write, so journal, study the mysteries, go down the road of psychology, astrology, any of these kinds of things. Don't pick fights just for the sake of having a fight with someone. You know what I mean? Talk about the things that need to be talked about, allow the transformation, allow your own empowerment to come bubbling out. But be mindful of why you're doing what you're doing. What is the purpose behind it? That's a phenomenal use of navigating a transit that can be hard, and it can feel hard. I will tell you, Pluto is a global planet as well. So, earlier in the day, we may see our fellow man, having a hard time out there. So try and be mindful, but that's why we gather here, right? Get information about what's coming on the week so that we can navigate it. Now, later in the day, when we get to Sunday, we're going to see Mercury actually move into the energy of Taurus. So our thinking is going to start to slow down. We're going to get very practical in our thinking. We're not moving as quickly. It's going to be more about, okay, all the way until May 10th. Very dependable, enduring, long-lasting, persistent thinking. You can get very stubborn. Taurus is stubborn. So you might be like, no, this is my idea. That is it. But again, Uranus is in Taurus. So I think that helps all of us keep this thinking flexible, right? Which doesn't mean, I want to be very clear. When I say open-minded, flexible thinking, doesn't mean that the other person is always right, but it means in your mind, in your head, are you able to, look at a person who's maybe giving you a challenging perspective, whether it's on you, something in the world, something around them, and just see the great, pure presence of the universe and not take what they're saying so personally, but instead navigate around it. Right? Like, how is that working out for you? Now, other questions that I think about when Mercury is in the energy as Taurus is, how do I feel in my body and in my material space? Taurus is an earth sign, so it works in the material plane, right? So how do you feel about that? What are your thoughts on your space? How are you feeling about your diet, the things that you value? Mercury and Taurus is a great time to get into the details of, do you need all of these possessions, right? Like, do you need all this stuff, or is it time for like a donation run, right? What is out of date in your food pantry? These are great things to consider at that time. But I think also too, consider your Venus. Go to your specific chart, consider the Taurus areas, consider the Libra areas, consider the Venus in your chart, right? Mercury is stimulating some thought on these areas to see how you What do you need? What do you need to feel secure, to feel beautiful, to feel like you have endurance and some fixity, some stability in these particular areas? So lot going on that Sunday energy. I want you to be mindful of it. And the other thing I want to share with you guys, and I mean this just so seriously, be mindful of your own charts and where these energies are interacting and what they actually mean and feel like for you. How are they expressing? I love that we have access to tons of astrology, tons of interpretations, but don't just take our interpretations. What is your expression and your experience of these energies? And if you are listening to interpretations that are actually giving you more anxiety, it's a really strong time to be responsible for putting yourself in positions, listening to things, listening to content that supports the growth instead of freaks you out while you're listening to it. Because you may hear one astrologer saying, Mars Saturn conjunction is going to be really, really hard, look out. And another one is saying something different around it. So I want you to really be mindful in your practice of how is this expressing for you. Okay. I love you guys so much. I'm grateful we've been able to do these weeklies live. I would love to hear in the comment section down below if you like doing them live, or do you like the quicker, faster version that just happens when I do them pre-recorded. So let me know as I'm making the planner for the fall and how the videos will roll out or how the content will roll out. I really want to consider what feels the best and is best received for you guys as well. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love this week, my beautiful friends. I look forward to seeing you and connecting with you again next week. And also the May monthly videos are coming around for you. And for those of you who are coming to Arizona to iAstrologer with Opa, I look forward to giving you a squeeze in person when I see you there. All right, my beautiful friends, have a gorgeous week. I love you a ton. Thank you for showing up.